Hello everybody. It's been a while, but it's me, your favorite uncle, Uncle Burnsy. Been gone. Had a nice little vacay. But now we gotta get back into Citizen Sleeper again. Been a little bit. Hopefully you all are doing well out there. I hope you're doing great. Let's get back into it. Before we get started, thank you for the support and all on YouTube and here on Twitch. As always, we're going to be working towards the second episode of the DLC today. Hopefully it takes about less than 2 hours. That'll be really good. Let me see where we are right now. Yeah, no active drives because if we go up, where is it at? Ah, here we go. So last time, on episode Flux, we got people help on the flotilla. We got all the supplies, we did all the things, we're good. So right now, we're going to just, in the next 3 cycles, just prepare for the second episode. I don't know what's going to happen here, but we're just gonna be prepared. Last time we did not have enough scrap. I wanna go get some scrap. I wanna get some, well, I think we have enough money. Maybe another ship mine fragment, so we have a ship mine. You never know when you're gonna need that. So for the next 3 cycles, we're just gonna prepare. Otherwise, we're chilling. So, hopefully you all are doing good out there. At least we're coming back on a short week off of the holiday. Let me see what we got here. So what I want to do is go and get some scrap. I can at least get some guarantees here, if you will. Maybe get some more money? I don't know. Either way, I am excited. I don't know what's gonna happen next with the, with the folks on the flotilla. Nice. I won't use these 2 there. Let's just go and work, I guess, for some energy or money. Oh, this is just sunbathing. Nice. Oh, I forgot my 1. It's okay. Starvation. I am starving. I believe I have, I thought I had a lot. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, that's good. This is good. Do I want to re-roll? No, this is fine. So let's also go get some serums. And let me see what we got here. We have the aviary. This is where we can grow some mushrooms. I feel like I have a lot of mushrooms. Actually, I do want to... Is it possible? Yeah, here we go. How many do I need? I need just 2. Yeah, give me a stabilizer. Thank you. I think... Is this already ready? Oh, we can harvest. Yeah, let's harvest. Instant success. Good. We can hopefully get some more. Yeah, this will give us 5. Oh, I can even sell this for some money. Oh yeah, make lamb chops. This is really good. And it's funny because, let me just finish this up here. I want to hold on to that. Let's use one of these. So the beauty about this side of things, especially with the endings that we know, apparently there's an AI called the Gardener that's managing this whole green place right here. And I think if you like this, you'll probably like the Haifa commune. It's a nice little community where they're all about just working for the community and you get paid in food, vegetables, the stuff that you grow. Basically, it's if you want to be a farmer and get paid with the hard work and labor you do by just having food on the table and a place to live and all that stuff. So yeah, They do a little bit of a socialistic or socialism here, and I love it. And I think the beauty on this part is that the gardener brought back this whole area, because this was actually about to be a dead zone. But the gardener, the AI, the sentient AI that I think we got one of the endings for, yeah, made it to where it's still green to this day. I don't know if it grows, because as you can see, it's broken over here. So I think they're limited in the fashion. So pretty cool. Yeah, a bit utopian. I think like their idea of a utopia, are they perfect? No, because once they deal with other people, though, they don't have any money. If anything, they just give you a lot of mushrooms, a lot of vegetables. That is their payment, you know? So, ooh, the waste. Let's get something else here. There we go. Okay, good. I got 4 scrap. That's a good... 3 is not going to be too good for me. I forgot how I got that ship mine fragment. I'm going to have to do it anyway. Ooh, nice. Okay, good. Good amount of scrap. Let's get some energy. I think we can get some from over here. No, not for free. I will go and pay for some food. I think we already finished Bliss's storyline too, so everything's pretty much finished. We're just doing the all the DLC here today. So don't worry, folks. I promise you we're gonna need some scrap. We may even need a ship mine fragment. I already know. I'm gonna fill this all the way up. I got banked. This is what happens when you just beat the game. Almost have over 400 in like cryo. And I think we got one more cycle. I think that's gonna cause me to lose. Let me put 1 scrap up to at least push that off. This is also why you would need some scrap, but I'm thinking I need scrap for like the next part of the game. Yeah, we're getting that much closer to Citizen Sleeper 2, which I think this DLC, from what I'm hearing, is supposed to be... Oh, that's beautiful. This is supposed to be like a... I wouldn't say a prequel, but apparently it's supposed to hint at the events in the next game, which is cool. Okay, let's get out of here. So, I'm not wasting money on the stray cat. Let's go and get... I still want some more scrap or ship mine fragments, but I do need... I think this is where you can get mushrooms. Yeah. Okay. I want to grow some more mushrooms. I need a spore. Okay. I need 3 spores. This is a guaranteed 2 spores. Yeah, I don't need caps. 2 spores. I need 1 more. Perfect. Just showing y'all how to prepare. I think I had some buddies of mine play this and they failed. And it's okay. I think it's even I almost failed on the DLC missions here. What you got to do is just have a good bankroll, and I gotta wait 4 for that. That's good. Otherwise, let's get some more scraps, and I think we should be good to go for the DLC. Look at that, instant successes. And I think there is something else for that ship mine, but that's okay. We can forget it. But I just want to have a lot of scrap. There we go. Beautiful. And I think we are, yep. So let's finally get into it. We prepared as much as we could. I need to let's put a couple of scrap in here. I'll save the syringe. I'll put 2. Well, and this next one's called Refuge. So let's get it started. Here we go. Ooh, It hit you like a wave, a white-edged breaker roaring inland with the force of the entire ocean. The impact is a screaming brightness, blanking out everything. Behind it is silence. You float in silence, suspended. No, you do not float. You are the silence. It has filled you up. It has emptied you out. You cease to exist. Time passes, though you do not feel it passing. Then something flickers in the silence, and then something moves. That something is you. You open your eyes to a metal ceiling of flickering lights. You feel the floor around you, patting it with shaking hands. You assemble an image of yourself lying on your back in a corridor. You shake off the silence and sit up. What was that? You glance around, looking for a sign of some change. Damage on the walls, shouts in the distance, fire and fear. Nothing has changed. The silence sits around you like a fog. You try to think, furrowing your brow. How do you think again? It doesn't seem so easy anymore. You force the pathways to light up, the databanks to grant access. You feel like a fraction drive starting up after a long shutdown in cold vacuum. In the wave. In the wave was noise, just as the sound produced by a wave raking across a pebble beach represents trillions of impacts heard as a single roar. So this sound was the result of trillions of electrons flickering in place, heard as a single impossible scream. A memory or image comes to you, one from the moments before the wave hit. You squint as you imagine it, trying to cohere its blurry form, a broken skeletal ring, the eye, and then a vast arc approaching it, a razor-edged white curve, the wave. The wave approaches the eye. The eye spins, turning each part to face that vast white edge. You recognize their skeletal data cloud forms, the bright market, the low end, the greenway, the waste, Then the wave hits just as the flotilla, the cordon, turns to face it, and after that, everything is silence. You open your eyes again. That is the epicenter. But of what? Ooh. So something is coming. Oh, so Peak is here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let's see what Peak has to say. Even before you reach the cordon, the damage is obvious. The blinking red lights, the drones, the tugs are all gone. All are gone. Half the cordon's frame has also been shorn away, perhaps through the impact of some failing ship. People push past you in the corridor, both half-inch staff and contractors clearing the cordon. Let's push forward. You push through the flow of people, and despite a few suspicious looks, they offer you no resistance. The further you pass into the cordon, the less people you see. You can see a few sections have been closed off, their bulkheads doors closed, sealed, and red warning lights punctuating the corridors, but otherwise most areas seem functional. Suddenly you feel a hand on your shoulder. Having security? You should have known better than to wander into this place. You brace yourself as you turn. Sleeper! Peak embraces you as you turn. What are you doing here? Did you see the cordon go down? Did Esh speak with you? Peak glances around and you can see they are panicked. Where's Esh? I have no idea. Peak runs a hand through their hair. I was away from the ship, and when I got back, she'd taken it and gone. Then I saw the damage to the cordon. Peak looks at you with wild eyes. What if this is some half-inch attempt to clear the flotilla, to scuttle the refugee ships? It isn't. Peak pauses. What do you know, Sleeper? Something hit the station. Peak looks incredulous. Hit? Sleeper, we'd all be dead if that was the case. They pause to think. Maybe not an object, but a shockwave, a signal? An EMP would have taken out most of the station, but... Peak runs a hand through their hair. I don't know what you are saying, Sleeper. That doesn't sound... They look away down the corridor for a moment. Look, I have to find Esh. I'm sure you felt something, but we can talk about that later. They set off down the corridor. I can't sit around talking any longer. Find me on the flotilla. I'm going to find a way to Esh, no matter what. With that, they rush away into the depths of the cordon, leaving you behind. Seems like you'll need to follow if you want to get any answers. Nice. What's this? The cordon. Haha, scraps. See? Always gotta have scraps. Told you. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Yeah, they got pushed off. I'm gonna hold on to these dice, but I might go get some more scrap. Flotilla's friend. Okay, so endure and it's always endure and interface. If you ever play this game, boost one of those up, you'll be okay. That one's condition. This one's just energy. I'll take it. And then sometimes this is like a +3 on one side or a +2, so at least we know what this is going to give us. I love straight successes. Don't you just love a good dice roll? Ooh, I got 5 cryo. Can never have too much cryo. Cross fingers. Ayy. Okay, we got 2 things. We got Peak and we have Soul, the pragmatic captain. Let's go to Peak then first, and then we'll probably go. I think the captain is the new character here. As you walk into the bay of the Climbing Briar, the familiarity of the space overcomes any trepidation. It feels good to be back, and the return feels earned, especially after all the work it took to figure out a route through the flotilla's jumble of ships that might lead you to this blue streak. You see Esh and Peak immediately, sitting at the back of the bay, deep in conversation. Their closeness causes you to stop, suddenly aware that you might be interrupting something private. Peak is gesturing wildly as Esh stares out into the middle distance, hunched over. As Peak tries to get her attention, she spots you. Sleeper? Esh nods. Incredible work back there, she smiled. Sorry I couldn't wait for you and Peak, but the moment I saw the cordon go down, I had to get in here. Peak shakes their head, leaving before looking as usual, but I'm glad we were all reunited. To be honest, I can't believe it. The Flux event knocked the entire cordon system offline. The flotilla is free and Havenage are backing off. Peak smiles at you. You must be our good luck charm. Flux event? That's what the refugees are calling it. Peak explains. Apparently that's what they called it when it started happening around Ember. What exactly is happening? Hard to tell. It's some kind of disruptive wave that only disrupts electrical systems. Typical systems are screened against radiation and interference, but this seems to be dulled, but not stopped by those defenses. Basically, the crisis continues. The cordon may be down, but this brings a whole other set of problems. Esh paces away. You should tell them, Esh, please. Tell you what? Because she does not respond. You stare at her back, waiting for a response. Please, Ash, haven't they shown that they can be trusted? Peak nods towards you. Ash turns, her arms folded tightly across her chest. She goes to start and then stops. You can see the anger in her eyes, but you realize it is not directed at you or at anyone else. She's angry with herself. I brought weapons to the flotilla, and now they're gone. Aha! Aha, I remember. Yeah, that black box. Oh yeah, she has a really good design. Love it. But unfortunately, what I'm tight with her about is the fact that she had like some black box, and it turns out to be weapons. You suddenly remember the sleek crates that were tucked into the bay, marked with a yellow sigil. The ones Ash told you were just supplies. What are you thinking? I was thinking that if the cordon wasn't going to be lifted, the refugees would need something to change that. She stares at you defiantly. Would you rather they just stayed quiet and died like good citizens? Peak looks at you. She knows this was a bad move, Sleeper. I promise you. They glance back at her. She is just too proud to admit it. So what now? She finds them and she gets them back. Shouldn't we help? It's okay, Sleeper. I don't want anyone getting mixed up in this. This is my responsibility. As she looks away, like a main character. Plus, you and I have work to do. I want to understand the Flux, Sleeper, to study it. This thing is changing the entire system, causing problems across the inner system, driving refugees off Ember's moons, and now it's here. If we don't do something about it, it's a problem for all of us. I can see more immediate problems. As they ignore her, I've been looking at the networks, and when the Flux event hit, it changed things. It shuffled systems, corrupted nodes, and broke open data stores. They take out a slate and show you a flickering polygon. Some of these Flux nodes have appeared near the epicenter of the event, but I can't get access. You, however, I saw the way you worked with data when we were preparing for the run. I think you can get into these things. I want you to find a Flux node and bring me anything you can extract. They come and go, but most can be found in the barely functioning networks of the waste. Let's start there. Perhaps together we can find something that might point us to what the Flux is and where it comes from. Okay. They smile. I knew you'd agree. Ash looks indignant. Don't waste too much time chasing ghosts, Sleeper. There are people on this flotilla that need any help they can get. I'm sure Sleeper can do both, Ash. I'll see you here when you have something. Good hunting. And they wave at you as Ash stomps away to make plans of her own. Well, we have a new drive. Let me me see. I think this just has, yep, Flux data. Okay. Is there anything else here? Nope. Let's meet Soul. Someone told me I should be thanking you. The voice comes from behind you, cutting through the chaos of the crowded, cavernous bay. You freeze. Don't be afraid now. I've been hunting you, sure, but for all the best reasons. You turn to see bright eyes set in a rough face framed in rusted metal. My man Soul. Soul. He holds out his hand, the other clamped firmly around a knotted wooden cane. Shake his hand. He grips you firmly with a heavy and calloused hand. Forgive me, as soon as I saw you, I knew who you were. Soul puts a hand on your shoulder. I've been told a sleeper was part of that supply run that came in several cycles ago. A very welcome act, and we all thank you for it. Walk with me, sleeper. Soul sets off through the bay, his partial suit hissing and creaking as it helps carry him through the busy crowds. You notice people making way for you and Soul, standing back and letting you pass. You pass a makeshift kitchen, steaming pots on heating elements, a restless queue collecting meals. That algae that came through isn't exactly a full meal, but with what we have here, we've been able to make it work. You see a ladle of a greenish stew dished out. The color is something, isn't it? Soul leads you out of the larger bay into a corridor lined with storage rooms that are now serving as dorms. You see someone filling a metal container from a standpipe, the water gushing out readily. Soul nods to the person as he passes. Just a little further now. Soul leads you into a freight elevator and whistles to some unseen operator to start it up. It jerks into life, and as you pass through the layers of the ship, you see people on every level, supplies crammed into every available space, and sparks leaping in bursts as the ship is reshaped and modified to sustain its population. If Havenage were expecting an exodus from the flotilla, the Flux event has put a stop to that. Some have crossed to the eye, but many just to gather salvage or score a hot meal. So the pressure on our supplies is shrinking, but not like I'd hoped. With the Flux reaching all the way out here, people are starting to understand that our journey might not be over, as he stares grimly ahead. Suddenly the freight elevator screeches to a halt, and Soul leads you slowly out into a wide room of chairs and terminals. Ringed by a mezzanine and with a glass roof above showing the distant hub and the far curve of the eye beyond, the people at the terminals nod to him as he enters. This is your ship? That's right, the Pilgrim Seed is mine to care for. He leads you to a railed platform at the center of the room and stops. She chose me, so to speak. Well, at least her crew did, and I do my best to serve him. I like his little armor, like his little suit, because I can see it's supporting him, but it's pretty cool. Really good. Soul looks around the bridge of the ship, a pained expression on his face. I'll admit that the responsibility isn't one that suits me, though we rarely get to choose such things. He glances back at you. But you, Sleeper, from what I understand, you chose to try to help us here. Is that right? I did my best to. He nods silently. But I have to ask you, Sleeper, why are you here now? Soul leans back and you feel his eyes on you, assessing you. I still want to help. He nods. I've got to be honest with you, Sleeper. I'm not quite buying it. I'm not trying to make judgments on your character, but in my experience, people do things for more reasons than just being helpful. I have thousands of people here on the Pilgrim Seed, Sleeper. And there's thousands more out in the flotilla. He leans against a railing. A lot of them are looking to me to provide some future for them, some path out of this dead end we've got into. And this cycle, this very cycle, the thing we've been running away from, it just caught up with us. So these people are scared, Sleeper, and they're looking to me for reassurance. And then on the same cycle, someone tells me that they see you on board, a sleeper, the same sleeper they reckon, that wanted so strongly to send a ship past the cordon to see us. So the first thing I wanted to do was thank you for that, for your interest. But the second thing I wanted to do was find out what you want from us. His suit hisses and creaks. I think that's fair, don't you? So what is it? What's happening around Ember? Someone at the terminal calls out to Soul and he shouts some orders back. He turns to you. Apologies. He smiles that half smile. I tell you what, Sleeper, let's you and me make a deal. You want information? I understand that, but I have a list of needs longer than the rim of the eye itself. So you do some things for me and then we can talk about what's been happening in this system, and I will answer all your questions and then some. I may be the captain of the Pilgrim Seed, and she is certainly the biggest ship in this flotilla, but I'm not the only captain here. We have ships here from each of the moons. We're from Ember's Hearth, but there's others from Ember's Song and even Ember's Step. Well, those are some neat names. The moons have been at each other's throats, Sleeper. What with the pressure of the Flux, the bad blood from the old days. We aren't exactly all in an alignment. What I need is a way to stop things escalating, for the crews on these ships and their captains to feel happy and comfortable enough to forget old rivalries and past crimes. He flinches at something. Those from Ember's Step, well, they've always been proud, but that pride seems to be a barrier to compromise right now. The last set of supplies I sent their way, they refused. Meanwhile, I have a supply shuttle at the docking axis the Ember's song ships gather at, but they have taken far too many cycles to unload. Maybe if you are heading that way, you can look in on them. I'm no politician, Sleeper, but if I don't... He leans back and flexes his suit, screeching. He groans a little, and you see the weight of the flotilla sitting on his shoulders. The suit, the only thing keeping him vertical beneath all that pressure. That's a good writing right there. I like that. Look, you'll see for yourself if you go. Meet the other Sleeper. See what they need. Keep them aligned. He speaks of the pain, his voice clipped. Are you okay? Not really, but as long as this thing holds, I hope. He grits his teeth. You are what you appear to be, Sleeper. He smiles, his half smile despite the pain, because I'm not sure I can take any more bad news. Plus, there's plenty to be done here on the Pilgrim Seed too. If you have a moment to pitch in, there's never enough around here. That's something I have learned the hard way. Soul settles onto his cane, the pain visibly receding. Alright, I have 1,000 things to attend to now, Sleeper, so you'll have to find your own way out. And with that, Soul sits at his terminal with slow and careful movements. You head back down in the freight elevator, and as you do, you see again the layers and layers of chaotic life this vessel, and all the vessels of the flotilla hold. Okay. Got 2 drives. And study the flux. Let's see what we got here. We have, oh hey, there we go. See, I'm telling y'all, gotta be ready. Oh, that's nice. So a dice speeds this up. Step, Song, and Hearth. Stability in the flotilla means relieving the pressure on the refugees from all 3 moons. Oh yeah, we're gonna finish this one up. Look how much mushrooms I got. I got nothing but mushrooms. Oh yeah. You get nothing but mushrooms. I hope you like mushrooms. Soul finds you deep in the layers of the Pilgrim Seed, working on a patch for a life support vent. You hear him coming, his suit hissing as he does. I had to ask around to find you. Seems you know the place better than me these days. No, doubt it. I was on the work crew that built this thing, so maybe you were right. He holds up a hand. Stand up and let me see you. He pulls you to your feet. I don't believe he ever had a sleeper on Ember's hearth. He looks you up and down. You sure do make me wish we had. Could have done with a few workers that's as good as you. Thank you. You're welcome. Seems like I owe you some answers. Seeing as you've been working hard on the Pilgrim Seed these past cycles, he leans against a crate, his suit creaking. What do you want to know about? I want to know about the Flux. That's what I imagined. He scratches at his beard. I can't say I'm an expert, but I can tell you what we witnessed on Hearth. At first we ignored it. A few farms had their automation systems blink out. Lifter suits locked up. Bots reset their schedules. Nothing we hadn't seen before. But then the news came out of Passero that they'd been hit harder. The local network had gone down. No one could get it back up. It was rough for a while, but out in the farmland, we were used to that. Passero? Capital of Hearth. Tens of thousands of souls made it their home. Anyway, we thought the Flux was a freak event until the day they got the network running again. That's when the cascade happened. System after system corrupted, data lost, and then another Flux hit, and another. The bots were running circles in the field. People had to be cut out of their lifter suits like mine. And the city? I never saw it, but I heard from the others. Ooh. So if you're telling me like these lifter suits just like malfunctioned, I think they can probably bend you in ways you were not supposed to bend. Or just be stuck forever. That sucks. It only got worse from there. We couldn't seem to fight it. It cut us right open. That's what I know about the Flux. Some folks say it came from the inner system, that it might be connected to some old tech there or something, but I never heard anything more than rumors. Sorry, I don't have better news. Anything else you wanted to ask? Yeah, there was something. Ember's Hearth. Sure. I mean, I spent my whole life on that rock, so I have plenty to tell. I'll save my life story for another time. But the short of it is that Hearth is the first of Ember's moons, the biggest and the most populated, which is down to the successful terraforming systems Cybele set up back when Solheim owned the system. How are relations with the other moons? Depends on who you've been talking to. You shouldn't mistake me for a politician, Sleeper. That's for others to do. But Ember's Step was a test ground for the terraforming tech that Hearth is built on, while Ember's Song was the extraction site for the raw materials and energy needed to make it work. You can imagine that might lead to some tension. However, despite what people might say, Hearth was never fully stable. Cybele liked to talk it up, but after they pulled out and Solheim left, our people discovered they'd have to keep the systems running themselves or the place would soon end up as dry as steppe. Hearth was good as long as the evaporators kept running, kept filling our skies with clouds. Even after the collapse, our people kept those things going, turning that subsurface ocean into a periwinkle blue sky. Flux ended that though. And when they failed, the rains failed and the harvest with it. And soon you have a city without a way to feed itself. That's when we, some of us, made the decision to set out on this place. He gestures at the Pilgrim Seed and look for another future. Anything else you wanted to ask? I'm good for now. You sure? Actually, you! He squints at you. You want to know about me? I'm not sure that was part of the deal I was thinking of, Sleeper. Unless you were asking about this. He raps on the metal of the suit. In case you haven't guessed, this is the only thing keeping me vertical. It's a lifter suit, made for work in the field. We had to modify it so I could walk around after the accident. And that's all I'm saying, Sleeper, because to be honest with you, I don't owe you more than that. You want to know more? You want to know about the Flux? About Ember's Hearth? Go ahead, but don't pry into my life and I won't pry into yours. So lets the silence sit, staring hard at the floor. The suit seems to loom over him, looking more like a burden than a support. With the bars around his head, you suddenly start to think of it as a cage. Look, I don't mean to be rude. Let's leave it there. There's too many eyes on me on this ship as it is, and I'd rather just slip into the background. Thank you very much. Anything else you wanted to ask? I'm good for now. You sure? I am sure. He stands, flexing against the suit. He takes his cane in his hand. Keep it up, Sleeper. He smiles as he leaves. You're making me think I need to start making new plans for this place. And with that, Soul leaves, and you wonder what he means. As he creaks away down the corridor, you can't help but feel there's more to him than it seems. Okay. And they need that. That's okay. Is it over here? Aha. Oh, really? I need a 6 or a 5. Okay. Oh, can't do anything else. Let's just use this dice somewhere, not the waste. Dear God, not the waste. Let's get some energy. Okay, cool, we're letting that get up. Okay, let's go to sleep. On to the next cycle we go. This is really good so far. And we should have 2 more nights. Oh, complete all active scenes. There's another scene somewhere? Oh. Ah, missed that. Okay. Unload supplies. That's okay. I would like to have good successes, and I think that is almost everybody. Let's go to Ember Step. It's a strange sight, given your time spent in the Greenway, to see a greenhouse choked in red dust. It piles up along the edge, gathers in curving waves, and is carried by some unseen wind to whirl in front of the glass ceiling. It is a desert in miniature, a captured landscape of iron-rich sediment and unseen life. Beautiful, isn't it? The remark comes from another figure standing at the viewing window, so quietly that you hadn't noticed them. Did they just arrive, or were they here before you were? Their cloth-swaddled form reveals little. It is. They say nothing. You catch a glimpse of a pale face among the thick material, dark eyes glittering in the red reflected light. Ooh. I'm sorry. Can we take some time just to appreciate this? This is nice. This is so nice. I like this. It's the orange. It's really good. They turn to you as the dust swirls. Aki, they smile a tight smile. You are not from the flotilla, am I right? I'm not from anywhere, really. Everywhere is from somewhere, or everyone is from somewhere, whether they wish to be or not. The red dust glitters in her eyes, whether it is a good place to be from or not. Aki gathers her cloak around her shoulders against the cold. What brings you to the wind's long shadow? Wind's long shadow? This ship. As she looks at you curiously, do you often wander around ships you don't know the name of? You are a strange one. Aki raises an eyebrow. I don't know whether to report you or send you back to where you came from. which is nowhere at all. You glance around the empty corridor, suddenly aware of how quiet it is on the ship. Unlike the other ships you have been on, the flotilla, there is a silent order to the wind's long shadow, and in this moment, it feels unsettling. What happened here? Aki squints. That is a broad question, and I'm not in the mood to recount the history of this ship or step. Step? She turns away, irritated, eager to change the subject. You hear a creak as a set of shutters slowly begin to close across the glass ceiling of the greenhouse. As you watch, you feel the dissonance this place has with that word. There is nothing green here. A dust house, perhaps. It takes many systems to preserve this landscape. To simulate the wind, cycle the dust, layer the sand and dirt beneath. You watch the dust swirling. Systems that are failing. The Flux event, Aki glances at you for a sign of recognition at this term, is eroding our ability to keep this place alive, to keep these traces of Step alive, as she smiles to herself. Which is ironic, because when we left Step, the Flux had eroded our ability to survive on the moon. Now the situation is reversed. Away from the moon, its ecosystems are as fragile as we were, living upon it. Something catches your eye as the shutters darken the dust house. The winds, picking away at the dunes, begin to reveal something. A web, a network of thick, branching forms. And then they close completely, and you see nothing in the dark. Soft blue lights flicker on in the corridor, uplighting Aki in cold cyan. I wish it changed her from like this orange to like a blue. That'd be cool. You have piqued my curiosity, but I'm so tired. As she shivers. If you do not have a purpose here on the ship, I recommend finding one. Otherwise, I'm afraid you'll need to leave. Make yourself useful, and perhaps we will get another chance to talk. She turns. I would like that. With that, Aki pads away from the corridor. You stand for a moment in front of the dark dust house, trying to imagine the network of roots around under the sand and dust, and then trying to imagine the moon that once housed them. Ooh. That should be everything, so... Interface. Make yourself useful. Will do. I plan to. This is the docking axis here. So this is where we unload supplies, probably to meet someone. I see. Okay. Cool. I think that's all of the stuff we need to see. Let's go to this base camp and sleep. Nice. Oh, I do need a 6. I kind of wonder if I should just use it and then re-roll, which I could do. Yeah, let's do that. I don't want to just lose one. Extract that data for a Flux node. I want to use this 4 somewhere. Let's see, who should we help first? How about Aki? Nice. Actually, wait. What is the inner? That's the bad one. We just lose energy. And we get a +1, so that makes it 2. This is also a +1. Ho ho! Okay. Yeah, let's just start working on Aki and her stuff then. Beautiful. Oh yeah, the reroll was really good. Ooh, can we get it? Can we get it? Can we get it? Okay, it was better than negative, so. But yeah, the rerolls, I love that ability. Ever since I saw it, I had to have it. I mean, as you can see, you definitely need it for the end game stuff here. Oh shoot, I forgot. That's fine. Let me go and get some food. Okay, cool. We need one more for the mushrooms to go. Because I don't mind paying for some money. And do we have any of those ships here? Yeah, we do. Haggle over prices, which will make the ship mine fragments cheaper. Interesting. They're hard to come by. Can only source a couple. I mean... Let me get a discount real quick, though. limited supply. Or a ship mine. Oh, I see. Okay. Let me get one of those ship mine fragments. I have the cash. I only need one more. Boom. You never know when you need a ship mine. And we will build that soon. Okay, we missed them. Cool. Oh, I need food. That's why I'm here. Gotta go to my boy's stall. This is why you just have a bankroll here. I don't need to work. Except for the flotilla. They need me. Okay. Back to it. Let's finish up Aki's stuff here. And then maybe go work on the docking axis in the back. Oh yeah, it doesn't really take much for her. Beautiful. And I have 2 more. I think I'm gonna put those, actually no. Let's see what Aki has to say real quick. I see you've been contributing. Aki stands next to you at the dust house window. No, I did not start with Aki because she has a great character design. No, I didn't do that. I was unsure what to expect when we joined the flotilla on its voyage to the Eye, but after the journey across the system, then the quarantine, and then the Flux reaching all the way out here too, well, thank you. She bows a little. The other ships have only been interested in sending us supplies, but we grow all we need. She gestures at the dust house. What the dust houses need, that is the problem that concerns us. Shall we go inside? I'd love to. Come. She taps away at the panel by the window. Seems only fair that after your help with the support systems, you get to see what it is that you are maintaining. Thank you. Aki leads you to the opening beside the window. You pass through a dark changing room. You notice Aki is sliding on an oxygen mask and visor. She looks at the swirling dust inside. Inside, it's just like Ember's step. Thin atmosphere, constant dust storms. Nothing that will bother you. She passes you a mask. The dust isn't exactly pleasant to inhale, however, so take this. You hold it to your face. She leads you through a short decontamination tunnel with its fizzing panels of purifying light, and then through into the dust house. Immediately, the wind and the heat hits you. You feel the rough waves of dust scattering across your face and peer through the amber murk. Your feet slide on shifting piles of sand. Welcome to Step, or an emulation of it at least. Aki's voice sounds distant, echoey. The terraforming process only managed to provide a limited atmosphere around the moon, one which is slowly escaping. It's been like that since I was born, so I got used to the idea. You catch her bright eyes to the amber dust. So did everything else that lives there. You feel something hard beneath your feet, beneath the sand like a coil of rope. What is under the sand? Or maybe you look down. You instinctively look down and see something pale and twisted poking out of the sand. She looks at you. This is step silk. It's one of the plants we established on Step. She kicks away some red sand. Like any bast fiber, it can be retted and woven into cloths. Or clothes. I'm wearing some made from it myself. It's one of many species adapted to Step since the Solheim collapse, which is why it must be preserved. She stares out into the swirling dust. It is as much a refugee as we are, and the dust houses hold hundreds of other species. You look at the pale and unassuming root, threaded thickly through the sand. Aki watches you silently. Had enough? It'll be easier to speak outside. She leads you back through the decontamination tunnel, which blasts the dust from both of you with a burst of metallic tasting air, and into the changing room. She hangs up both masks, patiently awaiting your questions. What happened, or why bring plants with you? These are more than just plants. This is our way of life. The Step Silk cannot survive in any other conditions. Neither can the others, and Step itself. Aki pauses, pulling her shawl around her. She looks small and pale inside its layers. Step was already a doomed world, she sniffs. When Solheim gave the terraforming contract to Cybele, they believed they could build an atmosphere, but the moon's erratic orbit made it impossible to maintain. By the time of the Solheim collapse, the atmosphere was already fading, and Cybele's attention was on Ember's hearth. After the collapse, Cybele fell too, its researchers scattered across the moons, and any central organization lost. Since then, my parents' generation worked tirelessly to survive, to adapt what we had to the failing moon. The Step Silk, the other adapted species, are the life's work of the Steps colonies. So when the Flux started to collapse our computer systems, corrode and destroy our life support, our water supply, our agriculture, we had to leave. Aki sits heavily on a nearby bench. Soon the only traces of Step will be on this ship. She begins to cry quietly. You are unsure what to do. I'm just gonna sit beside her. You sit on the bench beside her as she sobs. You understand why this ship, why the refugees from Steppe are so different. Their world was already dying when the Flux arrived. Ember Steppe is a terraformed moon, a partial atmosphere, established colonies, agriculture, and yet when the Flux event started, its people had to leave. You think of the eye and the delicate web of decaying systems it rests upon. What hope does a ruined station have against a wave that corrupts, corrodes, and collapses? Aki interrupts your thoughts, rubbing her eyes. Not everyone left. There wasn't room to take all the people and fill the dust houses. My parents, their friends, and many others stayed. We carry the step for them. That sucks. That really does suck, though. I don't know how to feel like if you are on a planet and it's already doomed, like right when you're born. It's like, yeah, welcome to a doomed planet. Let me see. So interrupt your thoughts. Yeah. We carry the step with them. You left, or perhaps there is hope. We learn not to talk of hope on a dying world. There is meaning for them, and any future they can build with the time they have. She stands up. I wanted you to understand the importance of these dust houses, of what they contain. She leads you back out into the corridor. If the Flux event continues to reach out to the eye, we need to build protections to ensure their safety. What about the people? We aren't idiots, Sleeper. We chose to carry this burden. We will survive. These dust houses are already decaying. I have seen it. She stares into the dust. We had thought that they would last longer, but that last Flux event... Help us, please. Of course, Aki, of course. Of course I'll help you. Should we help? I'm kidding. I'm just gonna stay silent and just look at her like I'm stupid. Of course I will. When you are ready, we will begin the preparations for reinforcing the dust houses. We need to be ready for the next Flux event. Her eyes shine with the last of her tears. I wonder if we're gonna have like a timer before like the next wave hits. I'm thinking that's what they're gonna do. As she takes a breath, I will see you soon. Aki drifts away from the corridor, leaving you alone once more at the viewing window, watching the ragged, delicate traces of the moon known as Ember Steppe. That is terrible. Like, what do we do with that? If only I can just snap my fingers and I can just make it all better. But this is like some realistic stories that can happen in space. But what is the Flux? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so I still have 2. I see. Preservation. I mean, should we just work on one at a time? Or should we just try to like kind of like spread it out? Actually, did I help over here? Nope, that's 1 of 3. So I got 1 down here. Working on this. Yeah, I guess we can stick with it. Might as well. I want 3 times the preservation, please. Ooh, that's half. That's really good. So I need some stuff here, but I don't want to use all of my scrap. Let's use the stabilizer this time around. And then when we get the mushrooms, we should have another mushroom to get another stabilizer. And let's end the cycle. Reroll. I'll take it. I forgot I have that data. Can I take that back to peak? Yes, I can. My bad on that one. Forgot about that. Sleeper, come look at this. Peak is poring over one of the displays of the makeshift decoding suite they have set up in the Climbing Briar's cargo bay. On the screen, a clump of data pathways, like an ingrown root ball, has started to untangle. This is an existing node corrupted by the Flux event. It's totally twisted up. They glance at you to check you are listening. But inside, you watch as the unwinding pathways leave behind patterns of negative spaces like shadows. Staying behind despite their caster leaving is a whole other data set. Peek's eyes shine bright in the pale screen light. The Flux event somehow seeds this data deep into the gaps in the node, wrapping them around it. What's in there? Not sure. It isn't being very cooperative. You watch the screen, the pattern of shadows becoming obvious now as each layer of pathways is pulled away. The Flux event itself really did a number on unprotected nodes like this one. Most of the eye's systems are screened against radiation and interference, but these exposed nodes? Torn apart. Peek points to a thick tangle of threads on the screen. Look here. It looks like it's been tangled purposefully, but it's actually that all the points within the node have been randomly rearranged. It's as if the node was a bag of ball bearings and the Flux shook them. The pathways tried to account for the rearrangement once the system came back on, hence the tangle. Peek pauses as the node continues to unwind, although it was less like shaking a bag of ball bearings and more like making them all simultaneously occupy a superposition of every possible position in the bag before locking them back into a new configuration. They smile sheepishly, but that's a technicality. So what is the Flux? What is the Flux? We know it is a wave, one with exotic effects. That's all. Peek runs the hand through their hair. The question is not so much what Flux is, but what is causing it. Where is it coming from? Peek turns away from the screen, meeting your eye. And there's something else. They pause. Have you spoken with the refugees? Yes. They lower their voice instinctively. What they are reporting: massive systems failures, cascading collapses of life support, of terraforming systems, total data corruption. Ooh, the Flux shouldn't do that. It can fundamentally rearrange the structure of systems, especially those poorly shielded, but totally collapsing heavy-duty industrial systems, failsafes and all, that doesn't make sense. Those kinds of systems are built for deep space, for solar flares and radiation. The Flux might penetrate them, but any reconfiguration should have been repairable. Peek looks back at the screen, and where the decoding node lies almost fully open, a shadow pattern of the negative spaces that existed within its scrambled interior darkens the screen, like a set of bruises, showing the pattern of the object that made them. I need to look into something. I have an idea what might be causing this wave, triggering the Flux, but I need time to research it. Can I help? Nah, I'm sorry, Sleeper, but I want to keep this to myself for now. If you need something to do, the flotilla could surely do with the help. From what I heard from Esh, things are tense there. Where's Esh? Glances around. It must be out. I've been focusing on this, so I can't say I've noticed. Although the quiet is nice. Give me some more time, Sleeper. I'll have some answers soon enough, I hope. You take one last glance at the uncoiling node as you leave. The dark shapes it leaves behind, somehow troubling. You try to shake them from your mind. There are things to be done elsewhere. But wait, I'm electrical too. So is this, like, did I get affected by this as well? Ah. So I guess this kind of starts it. So I say we keep on helping the dust houses. Intuit and engineers at +2. Love to see it. I think engineer is the one that gives me energy every now and again. Hey, that's nice. Boom. Oh wait, I thought I had it. Wow. Oh, gotta use this last one. I want to make sure it works. That's my girl Aki. You and Aki stand side by side at the viewing window in silence. The dust swirls, and you glimpse the twisted root systems of the step silk through the ochre haze. After all these cycles, you feel a strange connection to a world on which you have never set foot. Aki shifts from foot to foot. She seems restless, eager to speak but unsure of what to say. The dust houses look good. She smiles warmly at you warmly. They do. She pauses and then turns back to the window. What is the value of all this? She asks suddenly. Of preserving a world we have left behind. History, heritage, conservation. I would say heritage? She is silent for a moment. Our practices, our lives require the materials, the patterns that step provides. But if those practices remain unchanged while the universe around them shifts, aren't they already dead? She pauses. What is better, to preserve at all cost, or to allow things to be destroyed by change? She paces away, lost in thought. I'm grateful to you for helping protect the dust houses, for ensuring their slide into decay is delayed, even averted. But now I find myself at an impasse. The stability of the dust houses changes things. It makes me aware of how blinkered we have been. She stops to look at you, her posture somehow different. If the ecosystems of Steppe, if its people cannot grow to meet the future, why preserve it? She frowns. Are we just slaves to the preservation of what came before? I wouldn't say you're slaves, you inherit, but you can still change. I think there is still, like, you can still hold on to some things, but you can change. She comes close, holds your hands in hers. Ooh la la. We must change. We must change to live. I have seen that in you. The Steppe, these people, this ship, should serve more than heritage, than history. They should serve the future. She takes a breath. There are those in the flotilla that need clothes, that need food, that can benefit from the gifts of the Steppe's ecosystem. I want you to invite them. Can you do that for me? Of course, Aki. Anything for you. I know that Soul sent you. She smiles. You can tell him Aki, captain of the Wind's Long Shadow, invites all the people of the flotilla to come. I will. She nods. Aki steps away. You want to know about the Flux, no? About its purposes, its origin? You wish to protect your home as we could not. I'm afraid I don't have much to tell you. It is an exotic wave of sorts, an energy that passes through matter. It shifts the very charged particles which run through our electrical systems. It is possible to shield against it, as you would radiation, as we have done with the dust houses, but only while it is weak. The Flux event here was much like the first ones we felt on Ember's Steppe. Localized, destructive, but bearable. But in time, its strength grew. I don't know if it will be the same here, but it is coming from the center of the system, from the close orbit of Helion star, H1. That is all we could uncover. She is silent for a moment, unsure of what to add. I'm sorry I cannot offer more, but you are always welcome on this ship. I hope I will see you when the others come. She squeezes both your hands. I hope this ship, these dust houses, can be more than a museum. I hope they can be a home. With this, she turns and leaves, and you feel that word, home, resonating within you like a struck bell. I love that. That was a good one. All I have is just one. Ah, so it just takes energy? Cool. That's cool. Okay. I need food. What sucks? Wait, does the Hyphen Commune have anything? No, that work assignment gives you energy. Okay. And this does nothing for me. Okay, cool. So I have to... Oh, this is ready to harvest. Cool, I missed that. Let me go get some food, because if you try to go to sleep while starving, you're just going to hurt yourself. Now, I love this man stall. Let's fill up our energy. Oh yeah, McLam chops. It's pretty much... It's really good writing, and sometimes some games that are just text, they sometimes don't have good writing. Even though that's like a major part of a game, but it happens, right? Really good writing though. I can't complain. I'm actually glad I held off on doing this DLC till today, because this is all new to me, so I don't know what's coming. I hope I'm prepared as much as I can. I have a shit mine fragment too, and some scraps. On to the next day. Ooh, this is not a bad roll. I will keep that. Okay, so that means we can finish up, hopefully, the docking axis over here. Oh, I see. You're just trying to fill this up. I don't like how it's just like red. Really? Couldn't give me two? There we go. Ember's Song Flotilla Hub. There is a loose crowd around the supplies you have unloaded, and a tense mood brewing among them. You sit nearby, on the edge of the shuttle's docking tunnel, resting. Further away, crews from Ember's Song continue their lives as usual. Coming and going, trading, discussing. There is a quiet efficiency to the hub, set up as a common space for the swarm of small ships from Ember's Song that are part of Flotilla. Unlike Hearth or Steppe, there is no one capital ship for this moon's refugees, just a mass of individuals traveling in concert. We told Hearth we didn't want their scraps. The jeering voice comes out of the small crowd nearby. Oh wow. Peter? This guy gives me bad news. I don't know why. I feel like something's gonna happen, but we will see. You turn to see a gaunt, pale man wearing the industrial work gear you have seen many of the Song's refugees wearing. You hear me? These supplies are to help. He smirks. Oh, how noble of you, coming out here to help us singers. There is a rumble of anger around the crowd. We agreed to join the flotilla for joint protection. We did not agree to Ember's Hearth, using the flotilla to secure their control of the moons. You realize Peter is addressing the crowd as much as he is addressing you. With the cordon down, our crews are more than able to require what is needed from the eye, what is owed as restitution for keeping us restrained. He pats one of the crates you unloaded. What we need, we will take. I have no stake in this. Soul wants to cooperate. I can't guarantee that? Oh no, Soul. I keep forgetting Soul. Soul is a farmer. Even the people of Song know that he was simply the sole survivor of Hearth's leadership. His authority means nothing. Peter looks around at the crowd. Hearth think they can buy us, but we remember the past. A rumble of agreement runs through the crowd. He smiles at them. Take the supplies if you wish, of course. We are not wasteful. Peter approaches you directly. The crowd tentatively moves forward, and by the time he reaches you, they are already dragging away crates and distributing the contents. I'm not one for shooting the messenger, Sleeper, says Peter as he approaches, but we cannot concede to Hearth here, not for a moment. I don't understand. I can see that. He sits beside you on the docking tunnel's lip. What was your plan, Sleeper? Unload the supplies and wait for someone to start throwing them back at you? He nods at the crowd rifling through the crates, because that's what was about to happen. So I should thank you? He bows a little. My pleasure. What do you think happened to the crew of this shuttle? He shakes his head. They were chased out of this place. Why do they hate Hearth? We, Peter says with emphasis, do not hate Hearth. We simply do not trust them. Do you know anything about Ember's moon, Sleeper? Or were you planning to wander into this flotilla totally blind, an objective outsider offering help? He rolls his eyes. I know a little. A little is the same as nothing. I'm going to assume you know the basics. The gas giant Ember has 7 moons. The 3 biggest are Ember's Steppe, Ember's Song, and Ember's Heart. He winks. We can cover the 3 sisters next session. Steppe was the first to be settled, a contract old Solheim gave to the terraformers Cybele Systems when they first claimed the Hellion system. That's way back when. Steppe was a testing ground, and like most testing grounds, it didn't turn out too well. A partial atmosphere slowly sloughing off each orbit, a dysfunctional ecosystem, and a whole load of dust-clogged settlers. The place is a miserable desert long past its best before date. So Cybele moved to Hearth, where they redoubled their efforts. The subsurface ocean and some balmy tidal heating helped, allowing them to help to build a real atmosphere, a real habitable world, a fact that the typical Hearth colonists won't ever let you forget. How did Cybele achieve such a thing, you might wonder? Well, that's where we come in. It's that same old rule of surrogacy, the one humanity built our universe around. Peter claps a hand to his chest in mock pride. My moon, Ember's Song, is a sulfur-soaked rock covered in volcanoes, tidally heated by its inner orbit to sweltering temperatures, exactly the kind of crucible you need to fuel a terraforming project. Energy, industry, fuel. Song provided the raw materials for Hearth, willingly or not. So this is like, I'm trying to think of any other space games out there. Like, this is definitely where they got taken advantage of. Ooh. And a crucible requires people to run it, us singers, born into a flaming pit and asked to stoke it so others might live in a paradise in the making. That's what we had to endure until Solheim brought everything down. Peter rattles off this speech from memory, and you wonder how many times he has delivered it. No Solheim, no contract, no Cybele, and no Cybele meant 3 moons, subtly independent. Peter shakes his head. It was a war, Sleeper. Sometimes hot, sometimes cold, and unsurprisingly, Hearth and Steppe came out of it better than us. Yet, they need us, Sleeper. Always have. And so we are the linchpin. We are the center around which the moons orbit, not swirling ember. We've resisted takeovers, sieges, and expansions, and now we'll resist this. Half the people on these ships think the flux was caused by Earth, intentionally or otherwise, and I have to say, some cycles I agree. So before you come here to hand out supplies like a good soldier, maybe educate yourself. What does that matter now? Do you forgive crimes against yourself so easily, Sleeper? Would you return to the bosom of Essenarp if they sent someone to collect? He stares at the crowd. Don't presume to judge us. I want you to imagine what it is like to try to live on an airless, volcanic rock when every system that sustains you starts shutting down. He spits and wipes a sleeve across his mouth. We abandoned nothing. Some stayed, others left, but we will reclaim Ember as soon as the flux fades or ends. We weathered worse. Don't you need the supplies? As I said, we will take what we need when we need it. He stares out into the axis. There is no authority that we recognize here. I won't keep you from the docking axis, Sleeper. No one here has the authority for that, but watch yourself here. Try to remember that the Eye is just another in the long list of people who have tried to control us. I understand. Then let it guide your actions. Look, we are many and we have many needs. Ships come to this docking axis for repairs, for requisitions, for friendship. You can provide these as well as any singer. If you want to help in your own name, Sleeper, not in that of Hearth. Peter shakes his head. Carry that name here and you will lose all trust. Be as we are. Act in your own name alone. He puts a hand on your shoulder and stands. I hope I didn't just waste my time here, Sleeper. And with that, he walks away, back to the shrinking crowd that is distributing the last of the supplies among the crews present. You watch them pass the food and water between them. No signs of conflict between the crews, just a careful distribution of resources. I wonder if this is what it's like when it's like, we are a community, but we're kind of stubborn and like we don't like outsiders like that, but we have a system that works. I guess it's just one way of doing a civilization in space too. Now, how long does this type of civilization last? That I don't know. It is interesting though. Peter chats with a few crews, each of them casting looks in your direction, ones that reveal little about the singer's intentions. You stand. It seems the tensions on the flotilla run much deeper than you expected. This won't be easy. But I get it. I truly get it. You're literally born as a worker and you're just working yourself to the bone for another planet. You're gonna feel some type of way. What else is here? Aha. Aha ha ha. Aha ha 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 ha. Ship mine replacement. Or I think you need both of these. I feel like I can get, okay. Let's go get some more spores if we can. Ooh, I can build a ship mine fragment, y'all. I told you. I knew we were gonna need a ship mine fragment somewhere. So this won't get us spores. It'll get us. That won't give us spores. I want spores. Yeah. Let me get these 2 spores. Boom. And then let me go create the ship mine fragment. I think we can, I think we can actually complete this. Well, you know, this task anyway. And where is the fabricator? Aha, ship mine core. I got a ship mine core and some spores. Let's go to the Greenway. Okay, let's get in there. So we should have everything to complete this for them. Boom. Actually, wait, let me just see what the spores do. I think it just closes up. Yeah. I'm telling you, go get that. Just load up. That's all you gotta do is load up before you start this. And here comes Peter. As you cross the axis, looking for a shuttle to take you back to the ruined cordon, you spot Peter, standing at the edge of the central hub. Something about the way he is leaning against the rail, looking down across the axis and towards the blinking lights of the flotilla beyond makes you pause. He is completely still, his head drooping low, his shoulders hunched high. I'm approaching him. You lean on the railway a little way from Peter, leaving a gap between you. This close you can see the blank stare in his eyes, the way his hands hang limply in front of him. He takes a minute to notice you. Sleeper. Still hanging around? Just trying to be useful. He smiles a tight smile, but doesn't turn to face you. That a Sleeper thing? Needing to be useful? It's a me thing. It would make sense. He closes his eyes. Tools need to be used. What's with you? He stands back from the railing. Who invited you, sleeper? Who said you can come here? You think because the Harthers decided to name you their errand boy, we have to put up with you? We don't want you here. We don't need you. His eyes burn with rage. Go home, you stupid machine. Oh, I call specious right there. I am just a humble machine. A second after he shouts that final line, he collapses in on himself, staying upright, but all the energy going out of his body. He slumps back against the railing, his eyes closed once more. You wait. After a while, he speaks. I'm tired, sleeper. Tired of everything. I'm tired of the empty paternalism of Hearth. I'm tired of the paranoid whining of the crews. I'm tired of endless cycles that look the same, smell the same, feel the same. I'm tired of running, of hiding, of fixing every shitty thing that breaks out here. His shout echoes a little in the hub, but few stop to look. He looks down at his feet. Don't take it out on me. Don't you take it out on me. Like I'm the problem, but I get it. He nods. I'm sorry, sleeper. Something is, I don't feel okay. Just tired, I think. Really tired. I don't know. Are you hooked up a little bit here? Did the flux affect you? He stands. I'm gonna go. He looks at you and sniffs. Get some sleep. Sleep well. He nods, turning away. He raises a hand and drifts away towards the center of the hub. You turn back to the railing, not wanting to watch him go. Seeing him like this, you prefer not to stare. The traffic of the axis rumbles on as you watch. Under an endlessly shining sun, the same air recycled through all of these lungs, the same dust gathers speck by speck on the windows. You take a sharp breath, stand straight, and get moving before the inertia of it all gets to you. Okay. Jeez. Ah, there's more. Axis assistance. Okay, cool, I got engineer. Gives me +2. We still got some time. Okay. I don't know what's about to happen here, but sheesh. Let me get an extra day. Okay. Wow. That's a reroll I wish I had back. I gotta time my rerolls anyway. Anywho, let's fix this up. Ooh, I get a random scrap. Ooh. Now, this one, I don't know. I might lose some energy. We'll see. Oh, nice. And these are going to be successes. I'll take that. So basically, it's like a workers' coalition kind of coming together as like a unit. There's no one leading it, though, because for me, I think that's kind of iffy. I will say that. It's just a tad iffy, you know? Okay. So they have 4 more days until we hear something from them, which is good. We'll have something. Should be able to fix or finish up Peter's stuff over there, but he called me a damn machine. How dare he? How dare he? Let me go get that energy back, though. I could use my ones here. I'll hold on to them. Let's go fix this up first. Do I want negative? I don't want a negative. I want at least a guarantee. There we go. All right. What do you got for us? Sleeper! Peter calls out to you as you cross the axis. He is standing by the same railing as you saw him that last time, and he beckons you over. I've been hearing good things, he gives you a sidelong look. Good things? Mostly. He rubs his hands together nervously. You wait for him to speak. You know, on song, I was a teacher. He glances at you, anticipating a response. Really? Don't sound so surprised. Wow. He was a teacher. Okay. Mechanical engineering. It's an essential subject on a moon where a single mechanical failure could mean the deaths of hundreds. He looks at the ground. The heat, the atmosphere, the radiation, all of it is hostile to us. My students knew this. Their training was respected. As long as they were careful and respected Song themselves, they could have had their choice of colony placements. They were always in demand. That meant I was respected, surrounded by friends and colleagues, always able to call in favors and repay them like for like. He frowns. Song colonies are small, close-knit. We look after our own. A really good community that takes care of itself. When the Flux event started hitting, colonies went dark overnight. We all knew what those kinds of failures meant. Like always, we lost more people than any of the other moons. He balls his hands to tight fist. Not a single one of my students left Song. Our future was cut off, just like that. My future, he flexes his hands. What am I out here? What use am I? Song is a fading memory and the systems we built there are useless outside its orbit. How am I supposed to move on from here? He looks at you, eyes steely gray and glinting. Find someone to teach. He pauses, thinking. You don't give up, do you, Sleeper? You just keep going. You remind me of a student of mine, who entered the program from one of the smaller colonies. They didn't have the advantages of some of the others, but they were stubborn as hell. By the end of the program, they were the most skilled of their peers. They didn't get the best assignment, maybe because they didn't spend much time making the kind of connections that would help you get there. But that didn't matter, because I knew they would make the best of anything they set themselves to do. Peter is smiling now, buoyed up a little by memory. Singers are stubborn, Sleeper. We aren't going to change easily. We won't forgive easily or take help easily, but we'll hold strong. You can count on us for that. He stands from the railing. When you see Sol again, you can tell him that. You can tell him how the crews of Ember's Song operate. Tell him we will resist. If that means resisting Herd's imperialist ambitions, so be it. If it means resisting the Flux, so be it. And if it means to, as you have, help others resist those same pressures, so be it. And then tell him to leave us alone. That's nice. He turns his step lighter and he heads off toward the center of the Axis hub. I mean, if your calling is teaching, I'm gonna say go teach. Seems like it's a passion for you. Ooh, and there's Sol. When you arrive at the bridge of the Pilgrim Seed, Sol is waiting for you. You wouldn't believe the messages that have come through in the past few cycles, Sleeper. The ship from Steppe has sent a goodwill gesture, a whole cache of supplies from their own farms. I'm not sure how we'll use them, but the gesture's a welcome one. Song, meanwhile, are apparently accepting supplies again, although a little reticently, if I may say so. I don't expect them to change anytime soon, it should be said. And what I'm wondering, Sleeper, is what part you had in all this. He eyes you, waiting for an answer. I helped where I could. I've come to expect that of you, Sleeper. You look at Sol, his eyes bright and eager, and wonder what he sees in you. Are you a tool to be used or an ally? It can be hard to tell. And that is one thing. As a Sleeper, do people look at me as like an extra hand that's just to be used, or a friend? We'll never know. I want to show you something. Sol squeezes your shoulder, turning you to face the lift. He leads you along the axis of the ship, towards the engines, the clanking of his suit accompanied by the constant hammering and welding that fills the echoey bulkheads of the Pilgrim Seed at all hours. With the cordon lifted and shuttles able to go out to salvage scrap and barter for supplies, the ship has become a place of transformation, moving towards some state yet to be revealed to you. You look at Sol. What is his plan here? What is he preparing the Pilgrim Seed for? Or are his sharp eyes simply focused on making it through the next cycle? Suddenly, Sol stops in front of a huge bulkhead door, like the steel on the front of a dry dock anchor. He signals to someone in a cabin high up, attached to the wall, and they begin the process of opening it up. The Pilgrim Seed was built as a short-range freight carrier, you know. The amber warning lights on the bulkhead door send spinning shadows across his face. We built it to ship the entire harvest from thousands of farms to the silos at Passero. When we realized we'd need to leave, it was the biggest ship we could muster. He raps on the metal plate, and somehow she's carried us all the way out here. You led the evacuation? Me? Not even close. I was a farmer, had a whole load of land and people to run it, and my people helped convert this place for the long trip. He looks at his feet. Others led, organized the evacuation, and debated the plan. What happened? Not one of those folks made it. We were out in the black a long time before we got here, Sleeper. Things happen. The upshot is, I was chosen to take over. I guess my crew trusted me, and I knew the ship. I argued, reminded them I'm no leader, and that I'm sick. But well, when service chooses you. A loud klaxon sounds, indicating the bulkhead doors are ready to open. They groan as they slide back, the metal squeal echoing through the vast ship, bouncing off its hard-plated walls. At first, all you see is darkness. Then the lights go on, in huge strips that stretch back and back as far as you can see. The space in front of you, a vast bay, bigger than any you have ever seen, is empty. When we left Earth, we didn't have the time or resources to convert the entire ship. So it begins leading into the massive space. So much of the freight space we sealed away, shut down. But now we have time, we have resources, we stabilized here, at least for the moment. He turns to you. Now is the time we make use of all this. What are you planning? What do you think happens next for the Eye, Sleeper? The Flux has already hit one part of the station, and from what I know, it'll hit again. On Earth, we lost everything. There isn't much time, Sleeper, but there is enough time to do something. Think of the number of people we can fit on here. The farming stacks, the housing, hell, we can plant some of those mushrooms you love so much. This is the way forward, the only way. We need to fill this ship with able bodies and head for the Starward Belt. I thought the Eye was your destination. It was, until the Flux hit here. Now it's just another stop. I'm glad of the chance to resupply and salvage, but we need to go further out. I want you to help me. You know the Eye, you have connections, and you can work hard. I've seen it. I know you are like me, Sleeper. You didn't choose service, but it chose you. Can this work? It has to, Sleeper. There's nothing else. I know it's a lot to think about, Sleeper. Trust me. He begins to lead you back out of the bay, but think of what we can do here. The flotilla can't last forever. We need more than just farmers to make this work. We need to build a new world for ourselves. I've heard that out there in the belt there are people who've been setting up since the collapse, making something of their own. That's our future, tucked away in those rocks, far from all this. I didn't bring my people here just to let them die somewhere new. He crosses back over to the threshold of the bay and signals for the operator to close it up. The door groans and Soul waits for it to stop. Think about it, Sleeper. He claps an arm on your back, but don't wait too long. This is happening soon. And he leaves you there, in the silence of this vast bay, your head spinning with the thought of leaving the Eye. Yeah, because look at an upgrade point, which I cannot use. It's really just save up to 3 points now. I will do that for Endure, or use it on Icebreaker here, so I can have a chance. Nice. Looks like we caught up on everything except for when the Climbing Briar, when Pete finds stuff out here. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen, but what I will do, need to gather up some scrap. Nice. I have ones. I guess I can use them for energy. Nice. I'll do that. Ooh. I don't have... Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. Let me see. Is there anything I can do with this 314? Cryo. Let me see here. Well, this gives me more money. Sell a ship mine, export that. For 80 cryo. That's not bad. That gives me right back up to 400. You never know. And we're rich again. I know what that goes. That goes up. I don't think we can buy what I think we can buy. I can steal some shipments, earn some cryo. Okay, and I don't think... Yeah. Ooh, scrap freighter. I will buy some scrap. Get it for cheap too. Oh, I got a ship mine fragment at random? That's funny. Not like I don't need it, but you never know, I guess. You never know. What do you have here? We can cook. I can cook. Don't feel like cooking. Yeah, that's really it. I don't have a way. I'm gonna have to just take a hit, and that's fine. So let's just go over. Let's go to sleep. We got some energy, and we will go and get some more mushrooms so we can make some more stabilizers. I don't want to use the scrap at this point. Kind of want to hoard some scrap. Maybe get up to like 10 scrap or something. Ooh. Ooh, good reroll. Okay, so we're just waiting. So 2 more cycles, and that's going to continue the story. So what can we do to prepare? I say we get some scrap. Get some scrap. I'll get some scrap. I need to also go and get some mushrooms for a stabilizer. Okay. I'm trying to think if I should go get scrap. I have enough to make 1 stabilizer with it. Well, 2 random rare mushrooms. Nope, I want scrap. I will take the scrap. At least the guaranteed scrap. Whatever it is. Yep, I'll take scrap every time. You never know. And now I can make a stabilizer. Your boy could use a couple of scrap, but we can start this fresh over. There's many ways we can do this, but I want to keep it like this. And we can end a cycle now. Do I have any data on me? Nope. Good. I don't mind leaving the eye. I think it's that time. I already stayed. I stayed too many times. One more. Okay. So let's go and get... Let's go get some more spores and get some more mushrooms. Okay, I got 2. I need 1 more. There we go. Literally what I need. And let's... Oops, I gotta harvest. My bad. Ooh, got it 1 good club head. That's nice. And let's plant some more mushrooms. Again, I wish this just said 3 so we could just do it once. But I will allow it. The game's too good. It's like one of my few gripes. Cool. Now I want some energy. We can get some from the hyphen commune if we go to work. There's a balance here, as you can see. Perfect. I'll take that. That's really good. We got 2 ship mine fragments, 7 scrap. Got some Matsutake caps and some Jirolka, so I can either cook or sell that. But I have enough money. I need 1 more club head cap though, so we're just gonna wait for the mushrooms to grow. And looks like we get to see the rest of this story. Let's rest up 1 more time. Let's leave. Okay, I think that's a good roll, but looks like we can go to peak now. Have you ever heard of con channels, Sleeper? I mean, if we're talking like Star Trek and me screaming con into the ethos as if it's gonna, you know, in anger, but not con channels. Peak ass as soon as you enter the bay as if you were in the middle of a conversation. There are heavy circles under their eyes, and you aren't sure if they've moved since you last visited. The console they are working at... Con! That's all I think of when I see that. For all we know, it probably says can, but man, I just think of con. The console they are working at seems to have grown too, shadowing their slight frame in a wealth of screens and wires. Con? You mean for transit? Yes, exactly. Peak turns to face you. Kiyomani's active negation, the name of the effect used to transport trillions of tons of materials from the surrogate systems to the core. You might have heard of it in your physics classes. At XPR, they hammered the principles into us as kids. Con. Peak recites the definition as if in the classroom, a process of collapsing spatial causality along the Euclidean distance between 2 points by negating mass simultaneously at both ends of a geodesic curve. If you all know what that is out there, good for you, because I do not know. My brain is too smooth to comprehend this. Anywho's, essentially con channels allow for the near instantaneous transport of raw materials between systems. They require huge volumes of energy, of course, and decades of construction, but once a con channel is established, it opens up a system for infinite exploitation. The backbone of surrogacy is what XPR called them. They might not be able to send anything more complex than a rock through them. Complex machines and people are, shall we say, reconfigured by the process, but for raw, molecularly pure materials, Peak flicks a hand. Whoosh. So we have teleporters? Are you saying this Flux is just someone using the teleporter? Where's this going? What I was trying to find out was whether the Helion system... Yes, thank you, chat. Basically connects 2 points by breaking down their mass, of course, and that's why you don't put people or organic objects in there. What I was trying to find out was whether the Helion system, this system, ever had a con channel. Con channels are vastly expensive to build, to run. Not every surrogate system has one. Many use fraction drive ships to transport their materials to the nearest hub. But Solheim, Peak smiles, Solheim spared no expense when they established this system. No way. Yep. They shut it down before the collapse. They couldn't run the sender receiver station anymore, but it was there. It still is, as far as I can tell, closely orbiting our star. In fact, Pete grins, they've been building to this. I'm sure it's still there because one of the issues with con channels are the massive waves of exotic energy they can produce when cycling up. The flux, exactly. As Pete's face suddenly drops, someone is starting up the channel. Why? I don't know. They start counting off information on their fingers. They need a lot of resources to do it. And they need to have people from the core systems, but there's no real large-scale extraction in the Helion system anymore. So why would you go to the trouble? Just to trigger the flux? They rub their red eyes. The flux, the wave the con effect produces is a side effect, a problematic one, but it isn't a destructive force. If it was, the core systems would have never been able to use it. This is interesting. I really want to know what's going on here. So then why are the colonies collapsing because of it? Why is it chewing through systems, the kind of industrial system set up to function within the range of a once active con channel? Peak is getting frustrated. The moons of Ember have been terraforming since before the collapse. They would have had to deal with the flux, yet everything we have heard from the Refuge says it brought down every system they had. Peak falls quiet, thinking it all through. Your mind drifts too, thinking of the con channels, those vast, casual highways that prop up the core systems and their endless appetite for resources, because we gotta expand, exploit. What was it? Expand, exploit, exterminate, and I forget the last of the 4X. This system has been quiet for decades. Solheim collapsed. Most corporations gave up their claims, and apart from the Celis ships that came to begin to work on the sidereal horizon, no one from the core has come here in all that time. You shiver as you imagine the attention of the core, the systems of logic and exploitation that created you, created your suffering, turning towards the Helion system. A floodlight turned to this dark corner. A shrill bleat catches both of your attention, and Peak rushes to a screen, one showing a crude map of the station. On it, individual markers begin to flare up with insistent chirps. Peak looks puzzled for a moment, and then their face drops. No. They lean in. This doesn't make any sense. What's happening? The flux nodes are appearing elsewhere on the station. They pull at their hair. I set this system to alert me to other flux nodes near the epicenter of the flux event. But these are everywhere. The hub, the low end, the shipyard. How can this happen? The only reason we saw flux nodes here is because it is the most run-down part of the station. They were barely shielded, but others appearing? So far after the event, Peak turns to you. You are going to need to get me the data from those nodes, and quickly. I'll keep looking at what I have here, but I need to know why they are popping up everywhere. Right now? Right now. We can talk more about con channels and the system history when you are back, but this needs our attention right now.
Peak turns quickly back to the monitor, their eyes following scrolling screens of code spewing from the newly fluxed nodes. You leave quickly, but struggle to shake the image of the spotlight from your mind. You feel watched as you cross back into the pilgrim seat, on your way to a shuttle bay. Ooh, something's watching me? You hurry onward, eager to outrun the fear. Okay. So what do we got? Oh, it's still dark here? That's interesting. Let's cross to the room. And it should be around here. That's a Yadigan agent. Ah, a Flux node. What else do we have? We have... Aha! Ooh, I still got another one. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. They said the low end. Find and extract 3. Yeah, I got 1 there. I got that one. Oh. Oh, wait. I have not checked up. Let's go up. The Kisho. Aha! What do you need for this? Ooh, a 4. That's what I'm talking about. Extract that data. Oh. Whoa, what's this? Oh, not the question marks again. Yeah, something's watching me. Something is definitely watching me. It's gonna hit me out here. At least I don't have to worry about it right now. Cross the greenway. And let's give this data back. Here's all 3. Order up. Got you some nice, fresh Flux data. You watch as Peak works on the Flux data, the nodes unfolding like flowers now, giving in to Peak's increasingly sophisticated decoding protocols. Such a hacker. Seeing data like this, as an image on a screen, is an almost unrecognizable representation to you. It is nothing like swimming among nodes and threads. Despite this, Peak has proven themselves to be more than able to handle these complex data structures, even through this limited representational paradigm. The bay doors hisses, interrupting your flow of thoughts. You turn to see Eshi entering. Ash! She looks up and meets your eye, but doesn't respond. She stalks into the bay, head down. She looks tired and not in the mood to talk. How's the weapon hunt? Peak asks without turning from their screen. Slow. Unsuccessful. Tedious. Ash slams a bag down on a crate and hops up to sit on it. You still unpicking balls of yarn? With the sleeper's help. They brought me some good stuff this cycle. Maybe they could help you find the weapons you were smuggling? It's clear that Ash doesn't appreciate Peak's tone. Still looking? Uh-huh, Ash replies, and whoever took them better be making the most of their rapidly shortening lifespan right now. Ash? Peak cuts in without looking away from the console. We talked about this. This is my mistake, Peak, and I'll fix it how I want. She folds her arms. I know one of the factions of the flotilla has taken them. I just need to find out. Peak holds up a hand. Shh. They lean in towards the screen. Son of a... Oh no. They hid it in the wake of the wave. Peak is whispering to himself. It's alive. They lean back in their chair. Ash crosses over to look at the screen. Alive? Well, it's growing. It's processing. It's quietly working away in the dark. Look. You cross over to the screen and stand beside Ash. In it, you see that Peak has all 4 nodes decoded, and the pattern of shadows from inside them sit on the screen like dark skeins. Then you notice it. The movement, the thin threads cross from one stain to another. As you watch, you notice that the movement only ever happens in your peripheral vision, as if this thing, this shadow, knows it is being watched. This is how the other Flux nodes appeared. They rubbed their eyes. They weren't fluxed by the wave. They were corrupted after the fact. This thing, this shadow that entered in the wake of the wave, it's corrupted them. but it made the corruption look like the result of the flux. It's a sleight of hand. Peak runs a hand through their hair. The flux wave is so massive, so complex that it opens up systems to be attacked. As it reconfigures exposed systems, this shadow is broadcast implanted inside. The wave from the con channel. It is a brute force way of hitting every system in Helion. Once the systems are vulnerable, Peak looks pale. Their eyes reflect the screens. The flux isn't what is attacking the systems. It is the siege weapon, a Trojan horse. Then this thing takes over. As they sit back in their chair. And it's already on the eye. Dun dun dun. Wait. She rubs her forehead. You were telling me there's a con channel in this system. Shit. Peak isn't listening. This is bad. We have to take this to someone. Peak looks desperately at you. I would say, well, Soul? Okay. If we tell Soul this, what would Soul's just gonna say? He's just gonna say, let's leave, because that's what we need to do. Let's just dip. We can always dip. Helene will try to maybe fight back against it. I'm not too sure of who's the best. I mean, Soul's cool. He's cool peoples. Let me think here, because if you are trying to stay on the eye, it has to be Helene or Helen or Helene with the E right there. And then Soul will just tell you to, he'll just say, yeah, go home. I don't know what you can do to fight this though. Maybe tell Soul. Right, the refugees need to know. Esh cuts in. Maybe they can protect themselves against it. Lead an evacuation. An evacuation? Are you insane, Esh? Peak is desperate. Havenage are the station administrators. They need to know. The argument rages between them. As you watch them shouting, you feel sick. After a while, they stop, running out of things to say. An unsettling silence descends on the bay. I need more time, Peak says quietly. I need to look at solutions, try to build a case, collate the evidence. We messed this up. They look down at their hands. Esh goes to speak and then thinks better of it. Not a word, sleeper. Don't tell anyone until they are ready. They sigh. With the tension among the refugees, Soul won't be ready to hear this, and Helene and Havenage are still mired in some kind of crisis. We tell Havenage they are likely to react badly, and even with the flotilla stabilized, Soul is not going to react well at this. I need time to build a case. You are too twisted up in this, Peak, Esh says quietly. This is not our place. We don't owe... Stop, Esh. Stop. Just please. Ugh. You leave them like that, exhausted and troubled, and head back out into the pilgrim seed. When you close your eyes, you think of those shadows, that movement at the edge of your vision, something dark, growing in the station. Like a parasite. Or like a turd in the wind. I'm kidding. You feel sick. Your vision blurs. What comes next? You stop in a corridor, take a breath, putting a hand on a rumbling metal wall. Oh shoot. If it affects systems and it gets in the system, it's inside me. It's gonna be inside me. And then it's gonna eat you too. Oh my god. No, I'm kidding, sorry. For now, the eye keeps spinning. For now. Oh, and there you go. Episode Refuge has been complete with the second part of the story. The final episode will begin when the clock below is complete in 2 cycles. That's what I'm talking about. This was like a good build-up. Now the question is, I'm thinking of saving up. I want to save up one more point and just get all of this on Endure. And that's what we'll do. But that was a good episode. So now we know there's a wave, and then past that wave, there's a virus. What this virus does, we don't know. But what I need some scrap. Oof, took a hit, but that's okay. I can get some energy. So let's use up all our dice here. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, well, that was a good episode, everyone. This one will be released come Wednesday on the YouTube channel, Uncle Burnsy. You know, let your friends know, let everyone else know, get them in on this story of how capitalism can go wrong. Otherwise, this is your favorite uncle, Uncle Burnsy, and I hope to see you again on the next stream and on the next time on YouTube. For those on YouTube, like, subscribe if you made it this far in the video. Leave a comment if you will. Otherwise, thank you all. Have a good time. Peace.